CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.
All right, welcome back to CountryWide Connect. Yes, day two coming to an end, but it's been a fantastic couple of days here. But yesterday afternoon, there was a very good discussion as part of the global market signals and customer expectations. Carolyn Mortland is the Executive Officer Sustainability for Zespri. Carolyn, welcome to CountryWide Connect. Really appreciate you taking the time to have a chat to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, great to have you here. Good conference. Have you enjoyed it?
It's been a fantastic conference. I'm buzzing with all the ideas that are coming out.
And you've just been with Zespri not too long, 10 or so months?
Yes, that's right. Joined last year.
And so Executive Officer Sustainability is a very important role. And obviously Zespri being one of our real success stories in New Zealand. We had CEO Jason DeBrake on the show a couple of weeks ago talking, or last week I think it was, talking about the India FTA and what that's going to mean for kiwi fruit, a real, I suppose, and Zespri, a real success story.
Absolutely. We're really thrilled about that FTA.
Part of that, though, is you guys have been working very hard on your 10-year strategy. What is that? What are you doing?
So we've launched a new 10-year strategy, and that's about positioning us. We're already doing really well in the market, but we need to continue to move. And Zespri has had its success from great marketing and great quality, but our competitors are catching up. So as we look forward 10 years, we're going to be evolving our brand and marketing to from establishing us as the most delicious kiwi fruit to the most nutritious kiwi fruit. And we have an ambition to be the most nutritious kiwi fruit in the world.
So, and how do you do that? Is this new varieties as part of that strategy? I mean, because that's one of the things about Zespri, right? You've been so forward-thinking. You've been so ambitious, obviously, in the new products.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely underpinned by our innovation program. And as you've seen, we've brought out Ruby Red and, of course, Gold in its day, and we continue to develop new cultivars. But as we look at what we're actually tapping into is that global demand for health and nutrition and well-being. Kiwi fruit is a really nutrient-dense, healthy fruit. So we'll just be bringing that to the fore a little more in terms of
an education thing, then?
It's an education thing.
I mean, you're not changing the kiwi fruits per se.
No.
You're just telling them a better story about how nutritious it is. Because at the moment, you eat kiwi fruit because it tastes good.
Yes, that's right. And now, if you understood all the health benefits that it also brings you, we've just announced a claim, and the first claim on a fruit in Europe around the gut health benefits of kiwi fruit, for example. So
we all know it's got
an
other effect if you eat too much of it, right? There's a definite effect of kiwi fruit.
The actual claim is that it supports regular bowel movement, if I can be so bold.
Well, I can claim that. We all know that that's true. I mean, but that's one of those anecdotal things, right? But you probably don't need science to prove that. We won't go there. We'll get there soon. Okay. What I'm interested though, you're the sustainability officer. Yeah. So how does your claim or your strategy there, moving from delicious to nutritious, where does that fit into the sustainability picture? How do you get those two things going?
Well, so sustainability can really help that in terms of what the tagline that we're moving to is growing for good. Now, obviously, it's good for you as the consumer through the health, but also increasingly consumers are wanting to know, well, how is that food produced? Is it good for the communities that produce it, and is it good for the environment that produces it? So sustainability can come in and provide some of those proof points that not only do we provide this delicious and nutritious fruit, but it's grown in a way that is environmentally responsible and socially responsible.
Again, marketing campaign, education, is that what underpins that?
Well, we have actually, alongside our strategy, we've launched new climate change targets because you can't just claim and market things. You've got to have real proof behind what you're doing. And one of our most material sustainability issues is climate change, both in terms of emissions that it takes for us to get our fruit to market and also the impact of climate on our supply.
So we'll talk about that second one in a minute. In the growing, but then, so what you're talking about is a supply chain, right?
Yes.
Getting our product, getting your Zespri product from New Zealand to whichever market in the world, whether it's Japan, it's China, it's Europe, wherever. Yes. India, now, as we talked about, right. Jason DeBrake, India, you're going to be sending it there. So what are you doing? What practically is Zespri doing to ensure that you're reducing your emissions during that supply chain?
So we calculated our emissions footprint across our whole supply chain from orchard right through to when the consumer throws out the skins in the packaging. So all of the emissions footprint, and we know that our most significant source is our shipping. It's 40 to 50% of our emissions footprint comes from when we're shipping it to market. So that's an area that we want to focus on. We set a long-term target of trying to reach net zero emissions by 2050. We know that that's going to take time and it's going to take a lot of steps. We're going to have to partner with people and work on it. So the first place we're starting is with our shipping, and we've set an interim target for that as well.
Okay. So you've obviously got some plans around that. What are you practically doing with your shipping? Is it bigger boats? Is it routes? What are you doing?
So we've set a first target to reduce it by 30% by 2030, and that is first of all, looking at optimizing how we load the ships, so getting more trays or pallets of kiwi fruit on, which actually has great cost savings as well. How we choose between a charter ship or a container ship can affect its emissions. So being mindful of the emissions when we're doing our business as usual of packing ships. Then it is improving vessel fuel efficiency. Some of our shipping partners have got net zero targets. They're also working on this, and they're bringing online dual fueled or more efficient ships to reduce the emissions.
So it's interesting packing. Obviously, there's an easy way and a hard way. I think about it when I pack the car whenever I go away, right? You can you take some time and you do it. Is it? I mean, I would have thought, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, and I'm not poo-pooing any of it, but I would have thought that you guys were packing very efficiently now. What sort of, I mean, is it incremental change, or is it a technology change that you're packing differently? What sort of things can you do?
Absolutely, you're right. You know, we're already driven to pack as efficiently as possible, but sometimes you need to get the fruit to market faster, or you're on a container ship, you don't get to control what else is being packed on that.
So hence why charter, right?
Yeah, charter especially for us, and it goes straight to market, but it can use slightly more fuel. So we will always do what's right for the market, but being mindful of some of these decisions can have a little bit of impact. So,
excuse the pun here, but low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit, that's right.
That's bad, isn't it?
No, I love the pun.
That's what you're talking about. Low-hanging fruit, easy, shipping.
You look for the wins over time. Because that's an efficiency measure. Over time, the ships will need to switch out of diesel into biofuel or alternative fuels. And so over time, that's why we set a long-term target. We anticipate that will come through in time.
We might go back to sailing ships. Who knows?
They may do it.
Well, the serious is there is work being done on sail assist.
Yes.
Effectively, you know, and that sounds like we're going back to the 1800s. But hey, it is a technology that exists, and if it has a 10 or 15 or 20% gain in fuel efficiency, why wouldn't you do that? You got wind out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that then, so we're talking about shipping, and that's, you know, as we've said, low-hanging fruit. More difficultly, though, will be emissions in the orchards, because it's not like you know, a sheep and beef farm or a dairy farm or whatever, where you can use emissions reduction products and that sort of thing. How do you reduce emissions within an orchard then?
Well, first of all, we're really fortunate that we're already quite a low emissions food. So the emissions from an orchard is less than 10% of our total footprint. Shipping's bigger. But over time, we know that we'll need to address each area, and we'll be working with industry and growers to do that. We did a trial over the last 3 years to look at what would it take to reduce emissions on orchard, and we know it was fantastic. We had 19 growers, 3 pack houses that were involved, and first year was baseline. The other 2 years, they reduced emissions by 22%. Now, how they did that is typically fertiliser use is about a third of it. Another third is fuel, the tractor. You know, how many times do you need to mow? And again, low-hanging fruit, where you could actually save, reduce your costs for fertiliser input or your fuel by just sort of optimising what you do there.
Yeah, and that's interesting on that one, because, definitely with tractors, and everyone's very focused on that. And what I was going to say here, the good thing is as a farmer or as an ex-farmer, I was a dairy farmer, but if you can give me something as a farmer that I can increases my bottom line, makes me more money because I don't have to spend something, I'm all for that. I guess the other one, and I've been hearing a little bit about it, is on-farm solar as well, particularly for the pack houses.
Yes.
And that would be something, because that's a big cost for those automated pack houses, right?
That's right. And pack houses have, long-term capital investment in their refrigeration and electrician. These are long-term assets. It takes a while, but that's the type of thing that they're looking at.
So the other side of the coin is market access, and we've been talking a lot about that. Is there a bonus, or is there like a premium for low emissions kiwi fruit at the moment, or is this just, as we've talked about a lot of things, you do this to get your foot in the door so that you can charge the prices where existing? Is there an upside?
We've talked a lot about this at the conference, and how us at Zespri and many of our the other companies that talking today see it as it's becoming what is required. It is becoming. We wanted to do this because we want to establish ourselves as leading, as among premium. Our premium customers have climate targets. They care about this. We're positioning ourselves as being there long term. We would love to be able to say we're one of the lowest emissions per nutrition. So it could become a bundle, a part of a bundle of what a consumer cares about. But it's really about positioning us strategically for the long term.
Exactly. And also, which I don't think we've said enough of, it's actually the right thing to do.
Well, absolutely. The flip side of this is responding to the impacts of climate change. And so that's right. Everybody needs to think about how they reduce emissions and how we respond to our changing climate.
All right. Carolyn Mortland, Executive Officer for Sustainability. That's a bit of a mouthful in Zespri. I think I get it right by now. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for making time to chat to us on CountryWide Connect.
You're welcome.
Chat to you again. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.